Buongiorno, Valentina.
Buongiorno, Georgette.
This is Two Voices, No Filter, and we break down all things that are Italy related, digital media related, that you are interested in hearing about. So, that being said, what are we talking about today?
Oh, today's a very juicy episode because we are definitely talking about Italian families
and familia.
Absolutely, and the Italian homes and all the funny things you can find in our houses, like
lack of toilet seats. Well, that's more public businesses. But maybe that humidifier that exists on the radiator in your room that you rented. I mean, the sky's the limit, and we're going to break it all down today.
So just stick with us.
Buongiorno, welcome. I'm Georgette Jupi. I'm a native Texan living in Florence, and
I am Valentina Dainelli, and I'm 100% from Chianti Classico e Chiantigiana.
This is Two Voices, a podcast about truth beyond the Dolce Vita.
So we are kicking this episode about Italian families and Italian homes with talking about one of my favorite Italian movies that it's called Parenti Serpenti. So just write it down because it's an amazing film dating back to 1992. Mm-hmm. And it's by Mario Monicelli, so it's not just an unknown director, but it's one of the major Italian film directors. He was nominated for over 6 Oscars actually, and he had more than 1 prizes in his career. Okay, so he has many major films, Italian films. But what I like about this film is that it explains perfectly how Italian families are toxic. And just start with the name, okay? Parenti Serpenti. So if we are going straight for a translation, it's going to be
toxic families, or toxic relatives.
Yes.
Probably more so.
Because in Italian, so parenti means relative, okay? Mm-hmm. But it goes also with the connection because parentela is the connection, the family connection that you have with other members. Mm-hmm. And then you have serpenti. So what's a serpenti? It's a snake.
Yes.
But it means that these people are toxic, okay? So parenti serpenti, you have a rhyme. First in Italian, that also makes fun, but also it means that you have toxic relationship within your family. And the movie, I think, shows perfectly how Italian families work. Because we are back in the early 90s, late 80s, we can say, because it's really a vintage movie. And you see the main scene is these, medieval town in southern Italy. It's located in Abruzzo. And the family reunited for Christmas and New Year's Eve celebrations in the house where they grew up.
Yeah.
With the old parents.
Which I think is very relatable because I think a lot of people do the same wherever you are in the world.
Yes.
And it's a very honest movie, which is available on YouTube free, by the way,
yes,
with English
definitely.
subtitles. So you can find it. We'll put it in the show notes.
Yes, of course, definitely. And so the film just develops in these 2 weeks of celebration. And one of the main scenes that you see is that after, the main dining, they're all sit together at the main table. The old mama prepared everything for them. They
up and down. Food.
Yeah, definitely.
Always too much food.
Of course. And so they are old. Probably they are around their mid-70s or maybe starting their 70s. And they say, we start feeling old. We are going to move with one of you. And you are the ones who are going to decide with whom we are moving. So the family is composed by 2 parents. The father, he was a retired carabiniere, so he's a policeman, and the mom was middle class. The mom was a stay-at-home mom, of course, over anxious,
always there.
Yes,
always has a comment
over controlling and everything.
Yeah.
And for children, so there are 2 girls and 2 boys. So the girls, the oldest one, she's the one who lives closer to the parents, so she's the one who's taking most care.
Kind of the default caretaker
Yes,
already.
esatto. And then we have the youngest one, the little one. Unfortunately, she cannot have babies, so we cannot ever mention the baby name or children in the family because it's a very hard issue to handle. And then we have the two boys. We have one that is coming out during the movie in one of the main
coming out
scenes.
moment.
Yes, and main scene saying that he's gay. Okay,
Yeah.
so talking to his
family didn't know, which is already telling enough.
yes, of course, nobody, even the siblings, they didn't know until this scene, this main scene. Okay, and then the other that has these, modern northern wife that she's having actually an affair with the husband of the oldest sister. So it's really
Toxic relative.
yes, it's really complicated situation. But the main scene is that they go to the bar, after they had this news from their parents, and they're starting like, oh, they cannot come with me, they cannot come with me.
Excuses start to pile in about why they cannot
Of
be
course.
the ones who take on the parents.
And guess who's not at the bar? Alfredo, that is the gay brother of them, because he was helping mother and father to prepare the things. So they say, okay, Alfredo is going to be the one who's taking care of them. And when they go home, they are all together in the sitting room. And the children are also there because some of them have children. And they start talking, oh, Alfredo, so we talked about at the bar that you are the one who needs to take care of our parents because you are a lonely man.
You're gonna be alone. They have some money. It's a win-win situation for you both, basically.
Esatto. But then it's like a pot that it's taken out the top, and everyone starts saying, oh, he says, so he's coming out and says, I've been living with Mario for the past 10 years and I'm gay because of my parents, because my mom was over controlling and my father didn't have the power, in our family. That's because of them. And the other brother is going to say, oh, but I'm straight, I'm not gay. So why we have the same parents? And he said, I don't say anything because everyone knows that, the brother, and brother's wife is cheating on her. But he's the only one that doesn't know it. So that's something that is said. So they start, okay, then, if Alfredo cannot take them, why the oldest sister, you are not taking them? I mean, you are the closest one.
Yeah,
you're
already doing it anyway.
Esatto. And so that she starts blaming over the others, saying, oh, you know what, when our father was at surgery last year, I was the only one. Esatto. Next to him, doing the turn overnight in the hospital, because, before we had this thing that during night you would stay. Right now is no longer necessary, but it depends from certain times. And so you weren't with me. And the oldest brother, he said, but I was calling you, say I wanted to come and help you. And what she said is just amazing, because it just reveals all the bias we as Italians grew up in a family. She said, no, you didn't have to come because you cannot do even a coffee and you are a man. Your wife should have come here to help me with our parents.
Right,
okay.
Of course it comes out about what is the gender expectations are for the family members, and more importantly, how she wanted recognition for all that she had done, but still, even with that, wanted to control based on what she grew up with, the tropes, using those same tropes, cultural, gender, all of that that she grew up with, right? Like,
and I want just to let you, I want to just to highlight that we are in 1992. It's just 30 years ago.
I would dare say too, because we're talking about Italian families, culture, houses, this all centers around the home. That, you know, I still hear stuff like this today at times. And I actually think that the topic of Parenti Serpenti is I'm half Mexican, half American. So also in our culture, this is, you know, my grandmother, until she died last year, lived with my aunt. You know, both of my grandmother on my dad's side had 6 children. My grandmother on my mother's side had 8 children. And
that's very Italian too.
Exactly. Well, you know, I mean, just to say, and now there's like a movement of people wanting to have a ton of kids. But just to say that this is a common conversation I feel like a lot of people are having now, of like who's going to take care of the parents? Or they're in our stage of life when you're in your 40s, and the question is how do I take care of children, some young, some older, plus aging parents? So it's kind of I haven't seen the entire film yet, but I watched like half of it yesterday and I loved it because it's funny.
I love
it's all of the offensive but funny things that the body shaming.
Yes, about the young teenager, you know, that she's eating a piece of chocolate and her mother says, "Oh, you don't have to eat, otherwise your big ass is going to be I mean, your ass is going to be big, il tuo culo fa provincia." That it became a way of saying it.
Oh my, from the movie?
Yes,
oh my God.
Definitely.
By the way, and I want to preface and say that I do not find body shaming funny. I just think it's unfortunate, but I think a lot of us that grew up in the 80s and the 90s experienced that from our family members. I certainly did. The whole, like, don't smile too much because then you're going to create wrinkles. Don't eat that, you know, too much carbs. You're going to, like, I heard all of these kind of toxic tropes growing up, and which really does affect you. I mean, nowadays I hope we
have a completely different way of parenting.
To be honest, if the second somebody tells me that I'm, you know, gonna gain weight because I'm eating chocolate, I'm like stuffing that in private in the bathroom. Like, it's just gonna make you do the opposite. But the movie, I think, just illustrates so many different. I mean, there's so many amazing Italian movies that do that. Like, I'm thinking about Fantozzi. Yes, it's a different approach. It's about the you know, work system. The work system. Yes, and also very interesting too. Maybe, yes, absolutely. But also for the family, if you want, there is a Tuscan one that is Benvenuti in Casa Gori. So it's very, you know, much similar, the topic about the family, but it's only concentrate in the Christmas lunch with all the family and all the dramas that are exploding, you know, because one word that was said wasn't good, and you know, they are blaming to each other, and when are you getting married, when are you having children, and when are you finding a serious job, and all these toxic, you know, questions that are getting over and over. Luckily, you know, my aunt, for example, she's just 9 years older than me, so she's not one of the old, and my family is really small, so I'm, let's say, lucky about that. But I can, you know, relate to these big families, especially when I go south to visit my in-laws. You know, it's definitely like that. It's super toxic. Have all of that. Well, and I also think too, and I will love your input, just because, hey, we got a resident Italiana qui, so devo chiedere. I have to ask, but you know, the scene in Christmas, even I thought was really interesting about this movie in particular. There's a scene in the beginning where the eel escapes. Like, they keep moving the eel, the one that they're going to eat, in different containers, and then finally at one point it just escapes onto the dining room floor, and then I think it's his dad that tosses it out with the hat.
Sì, sì. Now I don't have the scene in my mind, but yes.
But I was just thinking about, like, how, okay, there's all this tradition, all this ritual, all this casualness, but at the same time, you know, they're all confronting these really funny scenarios, but there's also so much that's not, like, said.
Mama, everything is unsaid.
And I've always felt like that.
Two things. First thing is that I always feel like in Italy, mainly in most of the Italian families, we have all giant carpets just because we put all the problems underneath. Yeah. So we don't say them. We are just hiding them. Communication, I think it's a big issue in Italian families. We don't communicate.
Yeah.
Okay. We, as you said, we have a lot of unsaid rules that are statements or dogmas sometimes, and it's just like that. And you have to grow up in this, in this habitat, let's say, in this
which is not like it's not healthy. Just to Italy.
No,
I felt the same with especially the Mexican culture I grew up with. Actually, both. I mean, it was the same where you had those kind of, maybe because confronting them would be too difficult. You need a level of emotional maturity to be able to confront problems. Like we were just saying before we started this about how like in the movie, everyone's kind of even keeled, brushing things under the rug, making jokes, always very clever. But then when something major happens and somebody's directly confrontational, then it all comes out.
Sì.
It all becomes, it goes from 0 to 60 in a second.
0 to 100.
0 to 100, exactly. 0
Most
to 100,
of it's 0 to 100.
Yeah.
And it
almost doesn't feel like, it just feels like rage because it's all been bottled in for so long. And I've experienced that with my ex or other people where around their family where it was like that too, where it was just very, nobody said anything. It was all kind of just alluded to. But then when somebody lost control, because that's a hard thing to do, is keep under control and keep all those emotions under control. It all came out, but then they were so angry that you weren't ever going to see the point in that moment. It was going to be lost in the anger and the rage.
Yes, absolutely. I totally agree. Sometimes, my family is small, but it's the typical Italian family with a lot of unsaid things, not confrontation, they're not dialoguing. So what I do, for example, when I go there, so that I'm not the classic Italian. I grew up here, but I don't have the classic approach to family. So every time when we have holidays, I always think that I'm in the Parenti Serpenti movie. Really, something that I do with PNL, I just think, okay, it's just like I'm an actor in this movie.
Yeah,
and
you're playing a part.
Yes, I'm playing a part.
But that is something that parallels with the movie too, where everyone has a
role. Yes,
this one's the caretaker. Yeah. This one helps in the kitchen. This one talks a lot of shit.
I'm the black sheep, having a funny job, doing a lot of.
Nobody understands that they ask you a million times. What do they think you do, by the way, for work?
But there was a time that my father, when I used to work for Google, so it's about 10 years ago, my father used to say that I was working for YouTube. I don't know why.
More or less the same.
I don't know why. They don't understand what I'm doing.
And then there comes a point when you stop wanting to explain yourself. I feel the same way, by the way. Even when I'm explaining myself now, and I'm like, I'm a managing editor, I'm sent here media, I'm doing this, I have my own stuff. They will always be like, especially here in Italy, they'll be like, ma sei un blog, influencer.
They need to put a sticker on you, a label.
And it's not like a traditional job that people are used to seeing. It's becoming that, but.
I'm the only one in my family that has a partita IVA, that it's, yes, a big issue. Are you sure?
You sure you want to take on your own taxes?
Yes. So I'm the only one who's traveling a lot, or, who has a husband, a partner that is 50-50, and we share the same duties in the house, and that I'm not cooking, I'm not hiring, all this kind of stuff. But actually, I was the one who was taking care of my grandmother because my father was a man.
Oh, it was really because of this reason?
Yes.
Oh my God. Well,
and so it was, it was an honor to take care of her, but for the past 15 years, I was the caregiver of my grandparents, both of them, and I was the one who was taking care of all the papers, of all the medical duties, visits, and everything. I was managing
a full-time job.
Yes, I was managing the money.
Yesterday, and just going to the accettazione prenotazione window at the ASL, where they're just like, we'll talk more about that next episode. But seriously, it's not. That's a huge undertaking to be like, I'm the caretaker.
And I'm really scared about when my parents will be old, because I don't want to take care of them. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry but I already gave too much. I saved their life for too much because I took care of my grandparents. They didn't have to worry about me since I've been 19. So I really,
which is uncommon. Because we were just talking about that. I had some stats about how long Italians stay with their families, and it's 67% between 18 and 34.
I left my house when I was 19, but because my parents were too young when they became parents, and my grandparents were my parents, because they were still parenting them.
Yeah, I understand.
Of course. So I cannot blame on them, but they weren't, they didn't grow up. We can say, and so I don't think I'm going to, I don't know how I'm going to manage that, because of course I'm Italian and I have all these,
but that's the unspoken,
the feelings, the feelings that
I'm supposed to do. We can, guys, you have no idea. I feel like so many people could relate, and I would love to know anyone's listening their experience with this. I struggle with the same. My dad unfortunately is no longer here. But my mom it's a really tricky issue at the moment in my family, and without going into too much detail, but I have that cultural thing in my brain as well about like what we should do. And I'm also very far, I live on another continent, so it's not like I physically could be there. And
escaping it's one of my
same.
Escaping is one of my on the list, on the thing I can do in order not to take care of them.
But it's you feel so I also have a complicated family dynamic of like, I was raised by my father. I wasn't raised by my mother, so he was mom and dad. And so with my mother, it's a little bit more complicated because, she did her best for what she could do, but, she just wasn't, she's not like, that figure for me. But yet there's still this cultural obligation.
Yes.
Like, you always take care of family. At the same time, I'm of the belief of like, yes, if you feel that, well, first, if you were taken care of, if I was raised by this person, okay. But then also, you can't, like, we're all trying to survive here, and things are very difficult nowadays, and we're trying to raise our own families, and we're trying to support our own families and be there for everybody. So it's just like, you can only do that if your cup is full. You can only do that if it's possible. And I always think about like the Italian idea of Sunday lunch in general, or these like obligations of like, hey, I remember when I was with my ex, for example, we always went to Sunday lunch. It was a big affair, with all the different courses, I had appetizer, the pasta, the meat and vegetable dish. It was great. I actually liked it. But then it became like, if you didn't come, we had to make up a real good excuse. Like, it was like, why don't you spend the night? Why don't and so it's nice because people are taking care of you, but then there's like, oh my gosh, but if we don't do it, they're going to be upset.
But it's not more than taking care. They are taking care, but as in the movie we see, they are just doing it because then they can say, I did this for you.
Exactly.
Sometimes
organically.
Yes, so I think sometimes it's this, especially in Italian family, that's the understatement. I'm doing this because then I can say I've done
that. Yeah, no, we all probably have heard that. And I have to say too, though, on the flip side, I think a lot of families handle that well, are more open-minded, or more allowing to see like their kids breathe and do their thing, and then your kids want to be part of your life. And
maybe
I hope to have that with my daughter.
Maybe new generations, maybe families like ours. But if I think at my parents was not like this. So I'm not going every Sunday because Sunday for me is pajama day most of the time. I need to relax. We all need to, decompress from reality, because during the week we are also busy to be, performing, and I have so many activities, and my son does all the activities, and Mario now drives for 1 hour and a half. So we need a day to decompress from people and to be just us, in order to be, the worst side that we want to be with us.
So that you don't become Parenti Serpenti, you don't become toxic relatives because your cup is empty and you're forced to do all these things that you don't really want to do.
Esatto. So that's what we're trying. We're trying to.
Your kid wants to hang out with you. It doesn't feel forced to.
Esatto. He has to be with us because he wants to be with us, and not because he must be with us. So that's what we are trying to do.
There's less guilt.
Yes, there should not be. We already signed a paper saying, if you see that we are getting crazy, just just kill us. You are authorized. We authorize you to do it.
I think about that all the time too, because I don't know. I personally grew up with a lot of guilt as a kid and feeling really responsible for my parents' emotions and feeling like I could control that. And I'm really working hard to not continue that pattern. Takes work.
A lot of work.
Takes a lot of work.
I mean, and a lot of money, because you need to pay a good therapist.
Yeah, but I think of it as like, you take care of your mind, you take care of your body, you take care of your heart, you take care of things. You confront it like an adult, like an emotionally mature adult. And we're not perfect. Like, we all make mistakes, right?
No. As I always say to my son, Eduardo, don't worry. I'm just putting aside the money for the university and for therapist. I know that I'm doing mistakes, even though I don't want to, but sometimes I can say something that you listen in a different way, and the perception you have, it's not the one I want you to. So I know that I'm doing mistakes, and nobody is teaching me or us to be parents. So just bear with me, because I'm learning. I'm an in progress project as being a parent. So I know that I'm making mistakes. So just please excuse me from now on for your entire life with all the mistakes I'm making. But don't worry, you are covered with the money.
At least we're making sure that you're beginning your life with a bit of a base. And what about like with relatives and things like that? I'd be curious to hear your thoughts. My situation's so different. I'm American Mexican, but I live here, so obviously I only see my family in person a few times a year. And it's hard for them to visit, or they're scared of traveling. I haven't quite figured out which one it is, but it's okay. But for you, I know you're from a small family, but with relatives and also your husband's relatives in the South, how do you maintain relationships, and how important do you feel that is?
How much time do we have?
Well, we got to finish this, and then we're going to be talking about weird things in Italian homes.
So, in my case, I try to, as you were saying before, to cut all these toxic relationship and habits that were created by others. So I don't have the obligation to visit anyone unless I want to do it. Okay. So because I'm the black sheep, I'm the one who's doing her own business because I'm traveling, I'm working, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So let's take this for granted, but it's because I didn't want to do this. Okay. But when I look, for example, when I go southern, to Naples, Mario's family is coming from Naples. They are a completely different organization. And I really was shocked when I met him 15 years ago. And I was like, come on, it cannot be like that. They are just stereotypes. No, it's even worse than what we are thinking. So their families are still all connected to one each other. Fights can be really, really bad. They cannot talk to each other for months or years, just because, you said the wrong word at the wrong moment.
Well, it goes back to that whole thing of like, maybe that's the incentive for people not to share. Because if you do, the consequences are pretty big. Yes.
So, for example, just to give you an example, practical example, Mario was supposed to get married twice with a girl from South. And twice he blew up the marriage because the families were in fight.
We're fighting. Why were the families even
It was something because so I cannot understand because I'm not from there. So sometimes really I still
why are they even talking?
So because the mother of the groom should have an important role, in the game of the wedding.
Yeah.
But the other mother was the queen. Was the star of the show, of the marriage of her daughter.
So there was an authority problem here.
Esatto. And so that's
enough to blow up the wedding?
Yes, because they weren't able to speak to each other. I mean, how can I marry you?
Emotionally mature people.
Yes.
Emotionally mature people.
I mean, Mario was in his late 20s, early 30s, and also her partner, she was in that age. But so at the very end, they moved to Tuscany together in order also to leave, the families down there.
Ciao. Okay.
But then at the very end, she decided to stay with the family. Yeah. Mario was like, we have our own life. We are not... we don't need to get our families into our relationship.
Yeah, ooh, that's a hard one.
And she said,
my friend, look at the Beckhams. The Beckhams are fighting.
Yes, and she said no.
She said no.
And so she left.
That's got to be horrible for him. And I can only imagine how hurt he must have been as this was going on, because you're thinking, we're doing this together.
Because they loved each other a lot.
The love was probably truly there.
Yes.
But also family is really important for many people too. So I kind of get that, but I mean, in a perfect world, your family doesn't put you in that position.
Yes, in a perfect
world. Your family
word.
wants you to be happy. Yes. Your family, and if they're showing that their needs are more important than your need, like obviously, if you're in a openly toxic, abusive relationship, they should tell you, and you give your feedback, whatever. People are going to do what they're going to do.
So that's actually the pact that we did when we first met. Mm-hmm. So we agreed that our, blood families and relatives where outside of our relationship is going to manage his family. I'm managing my family. We are not.
I actually love that.
Yeah, we are not. I'm not taking care of his business. He's not taking care of my business. We can, of course.
You don't remind him of birthdays. Come on, Valentina. I will say,
but
Nico's
he's
amazing,
not.
But I'm like, go tell your dad happy birthday.
No, we are not. It's just so we are just the black sheep. So it's just
nobody's expecting. I think we did it right. Like, so basically, anything you do, they're like, wow. Whereas, like for me, I get that guilt, girl. I'm very much of the. I love family. I love the idea of family, and I'm working hard to make my family the one that I dreamed of having growing up. And I've always wanted, but I didn't have. At the same time, like I do have that, like I probably recognize the Parenti Serpenti model very well, because you can feel like you're in this crazy situation, and that's just normalized. Like all the toxicness is normalized.
It's totally normalized.
At least for me personally, it took me getting out of where I'm from, like coming out from Texas and then moving, and then also just being around other people and their families to be like, okay, so that's normal maybe, or that's what I want. Like what does Georgette want? So I think that I go back and forth with it too,
No, there is something else that popped up in my mind about, unwritten rules. For example, if you have a sibling, you must be a close friend of the wife or of the other partner. You should go together well.
Yep.
And I have a lot of friends that they must be friend with the, with the spouse of their sibling.
Yeah.
And for me, it's unreal because because you cannot be friend with someone that's maybe you don't like.
It's I find that to be the most profoundly hard thing. Like if you are lucky enough to have I have two brothers, for example, and it's hard. Like that is a really hard thing, because I genuinely love the idea of having like my sister-in-law or my brother's girlfriend. Like I would love to be super close. But unfortunately it's not in my control. It's like I can't control other people's actions or how deep or not deep. Like I would be the one who would want that, like, really close relationship.
Okay.
But unfortunately, I learned after years that you can't always make that happen.
You cannot
and,
always.
and it's okay.
But it's a written rule. It's an unwritten rule in Italy, especially.
I didn't know that actually.
That you have to be, and especially when you are young, you have to go out together. Maybe you do the holidays together because the family should be together, and you have to be with your brother or with your sister. You have to be close and less.
Well, the parents genuinely, but I will say,
luckily I'm an only child.
Well, my daughter is likely going to be an only child too, so she might not have this issue. But I do think there's something to be said of like, people evolve. Like recognizing that time changes, and when you're younger you have more time. You have to grow and see how you view relationships, and then later in life you're a little bit more introspective and kind of decisive about who do I actually want to spend time with. But sometimes you are forced.
But sometimes you are forced
well,
from the situation. Yeah, but it's not about Christmas. Sometimes there are many situations I know of friends that maybe they are obligated to live one next to the other. Yeah. And they hate each other.
Well, see, I can't relate to that because, at least with my own family, I moved across the world.
That's the luck.
You got to put some distance in between you sometimes.
Yes, always. I mean, in my mind, it's impossible to think that I will live next to my parents or next to my relatives. Yeah. For me, it's impossible. I would rather live in a comune, so in a commute house, than next to my parents.
I feel you on that. Like, I would have if the relationship was easier. I always say this, like, I'm a Cancer, we're very family home oriented, and I think that in my perfect world, I would hope and to have my daughter be, I wouldn't be close to her forever, but I want that to be because we're doing the work now. And it's organically the case.
No, of course, I see, I would love to be, let's say, close to Eduardo in order to help him, let's say, with his children.
Yeah, but not out of debt, not out of guilty. I did this for you.
No, I did it because I wanted to do it. That was my pleasure.
Serpenti, guys, no toxic relatives. Work on your relationships or let them go. Whatever you got to do.
And just watch the movie.
Watch the movie and let us know what you think. And I think it's a perfect time to take a break before we go into our next segment on weird things that people might find about Italian homes that are just normal to us.
Yes.
Hey.
A presto. And we are back with Italian houses and what you guys find creepy or strange or funny about our homes.
Super clever.
Yeah, I think most of the things that we are going to evaluate right now are super super clever. Super smart.
Maybe strange for you guys because
I think are smart.
And this is all just this segment, and partly why we wanted to do this episode is because there was a popular trend on TikTok. And it was
a lot of
all the things in it. Well, because of course, this is my only issue with TikTok, and maybe it's Instagram too. But I love the trend, but it's like then everybody just copies it. It's like, dude, make it your own. Like make it your. It's like a view thing, but still, just guys, be original. But anyway, the idea is that they're doing that whole like typical cheesy music, and it's all about like things in Italian homes that are strange to them, or on the flip side that makes sense. It made me laugh because I realized I've been living here long enough that I was like, these are all normal. Like you guys are weird.
Exactly. I don't understand why they're weird for you because they all make sense.
Yeah.
I mean.
Let's
go. Let's start with the bidet.
We gotta start with the quintessential.
Oh, come on, of Italy, because everyone.
Porcelain bidet.
What's wrong with it? I mean, it's
wash your butt.
Yes. So it's super useful. It's for
multi-use, actually.
Yes, it's very healthy. It's an healthy habit, so you're not going to have infections down there. So why it's so creepy? Why you don't understand why we have it?
I do think the bidet is getting a bit of a revolution. Like when I first came to Italy in 2005, I used it to store hats. Like I never actually used the bidet as a grad student. I was like, okay, that's weird.
Sometimes you use it to give water to your pets because they love for example, to
be honest, when my daughter was a toddler, I used to fill that thing up and she'd play in there for hours. Like, So it
Because
has
it's
a
a-
multi-functional, dimensional tool that
Esatto.
should not be used just to store. Like, let's say you've had a hot day, you come in. I mean, for me, it makes
For
sense because
washing
you can
your
clean
feet.
Yes,
Absolutely, it's so
Yes.
useful. You know, when you're
Exactly.
coming after the beach and you have to wash your feet, it's perfect.
Also, you could arguably say that anybody using a hose, Japanese toilet, bidet
Mm-hmm.
is probably a little more hygienic than where I grew up. I'm
I
sorry.
think so.
Well, I'm not going to say why or how, but I kind of feel like, and actually, I was reading something. I don't know if it's the case anymore, and maybe you have some insight because you just redid your home.
Same. And I
You
don't
need
have,
to
I don't have a bidet because
So you don't have a bidet?
no, I don't because I didn't have enough space in order, according to the law, to put the bidet next
Okay.
to the WC. Yes.
Because I had read somewhere that it increases your property value if you have a bidet.
See,
But
That's true.
is that really true?
Yes.
Still?
Yes. Why
Oh
not?
my gosh. Well, you
I mean,
put that bidet in
Any
somewhere.
in Italian,
That would be-
Italian bathroom,
What if you
it's
get a hose?
yes, I have that.
Oh, you do?
Yes, I have. I have to.
I should get one of those. That's a good idea.
Yes, of
Yeah.
course. But of course, because in Italy it's mandatory to have it. You have to see the disappointment of Mario when we didn't have the bidet.
I mean, I have completely adapted to the system, and I think everybody should have a bidet. And they're kind of like cute. I mean, there's my bathroom, are cute and classy, and even Annabelle gets it. She's like, she'll wash her hands in there sometimes and do other things.
You can use it for so many reasons.
Exactly.
But talking about the bidet, we can talk about this, myth about Italian houses that
Mm-hmm.
the bathroom most of the time is cold,
Yeah,
and it's true. I mean,
especially public buildings, public.
but in
restaurants.
general,
Yeah,
restrooms
No, my
are
restroom is probably it's either really hot or really cold. There's no real.
in the middle.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, kinda.
No, mine is not too cold because it's doesn't have windows because it's an old house, so we have a lot of issues because of that. But
Always fun.
yes, of course. But you know why bathrooms in Italy are cold?
Why?
Because in houses before World War II, they were built outside of the house. So that's why you.
Outhouse, of course, makes sense.
Yeah, that's why you don't have the heating.
Yeah.
For example, in my house, that it was built probably at the end of the 19th century. So the tiny bathroom that I have, it's outside of the main building.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, it's included in the next building, the
Yeah.
building next to
So
me,
maybe
because
that's why a lot of the walls are shared. With
Yes.
the issues we've
Yes,
talked extensively
exactly.
about them, and it's because of this.
yes, and now it's included. And my grandfather was the one who built the door inside the house to go to the bathroom. But if you have a look closely,
no.
in the old towns especially, you would see this tiny, room that is outside of the main buildings. You can see everywhere in Italy, especially when you have old buildings.
Yeah.
Starting from after World War II, engineers, civil engineers, and architects starting to think maybe bathrooms should be inside from now on, because also the plumbings were getting better, electricity, and all the things. So they started building houses with the bathroom included in the main area. But that's why also they are cold.
And I will say too that another thing that I think we've touched on before, but it's worth saying again, utilities in here are really high. So the gas, especially, we have a war going on right now, so especially now. But it just means that you're not going to really sprecare or waste.
You are not.
Turning on the heater in the bathroom.
How much time during the day you're spending in the bathroom?
Exactly.
So why you should spend a lot of money in heating
Yeah.
a room that most of the time it's also that's why also they were small because of the heating, but also you are not spending a lot of time there.
But a lot of Italian homes are colder in general from what we are used to. I lived in Switzerland for a couple of years, and it was shocking to me because I would walk around in the full winter and be snowing outside. You'd be in a t-shirt just because the way that the energy is distributed is differently. It's usually underfloor
over
heating.
here we have at least 3 layers.
Well, you got your sotto. You have your magliati di salute.
Yes,
you have.
I
Your,
have it.
you have your undershirt.
Of course.
Today, ironically, I don't. But even my daughter asked for it, and I think she feels awkward if she doesn't have it. I mean, because she's assimilated. And then, so anyway, the houses are colder because it's expensive. Even if you have a villa and you're a noble family,
my God.
you only heat up 2 rooms
Yes,
in the
of
whole
course.
villa.
Can you imagine just heating up a large palazzo with 6-7 rooms? Come on, how
think
much
that's
money
Ameri-
would you pay?
In fact, I mean,
Doesn't make
I'm not
sense.
saying all Americans are this way because it's not the case. I do have many climate conscious friends, thankfully. But a lot of people where I'm from, though, don't even, I mean, they would never think about not being completely comfortable. You know, if it's hot, the air conditioning's immediately on. If it's, you know, cold, the heater's immediately on. And it's kind of like they don't really think about
Do you want to know the ranges in our houses?
Well, I would love to know.
So, because Mario, it's one of the strictest menu. He's
got control of the temperature.
Mamma mia. Yes,
Nico
of course.
As well, actually. I mean, just because I don't care, but
yes. So the maximum temperature that we can hit, it's 19.1 degrees.
I like that.
Okay.
0.1. He's like, I'll give you one. I'll give you a 0.1.
0.1, and we have 1 hour in the morning. So before getting up to bed, so when we get out of bed, the house is cozy. And then we have 2 hours in the late evening.
Oh my God.
And that's it.
I'm going to tell Nico this.
And that's
He's
it.
going to be inspired because that's our like biggest complaint at home in the moment is how the heck is our electricity bills the highest?
Okay.
And the gas we don't have an issue with, but electricity is crazy.
Yeah, because you don't have the regular.
The underfloor heating. It's different.
That's,
so,
it's different. Yes.
But we do, you know, I mean.
No, I have this beautiful radiator in this old style that are as heavy as hell.
Yeah.
And you need a lot of time to heat them up. But then when they are heated, they will be warmer for a lot of time.
We don't have radiators in our house now where we live because it's modern. But it's where our other place.
Do you want to know that I painted all of them?
Did you really?
Of course, I have. How many do I have?
Why did you paint the radiators? What is this?
Why not? I mean,
is it really just this reason? Is it aesthetic, or is there?
Yes, because they needed to be renovated, and so I painted all of them. I have 5 of them. I painted 2 days of painting, more than 8 hours.
She doesn't just work in digital communication, guys. She also paints a radiator.
I'm good in painting radiators now.
That leads me to another weird thing that people find in Italian homes, which is that little ceramic piece that people
What's wrong with that?
Well, I didn't know what it was, and when I moved to Italy, I think I put my jewelry in there. It's weird, I know, I'm sorry.
I will send you a picture of my beautiful pappagallo style one.
It's like a little ceramic container
and it's to humidify.
I need this in my house.
Yeah, because the heat is going to dry the hair that you are breathing, and so you put the humidification in order to breathe better, and you can even scent it with aromatic herbs.
So it's got like you put a little potpourri in there, a little essential oils.
Yes, of course. Linen cotton. That's my favorite.
So you have it at home.
Yes, of course.
Okay, she's gonna send me some videos. We're gonna make a video about this because we're gonna obviously jump on.
Of course.
As I'm talking shit about TikTok, I'm like, why don't we jump on the train too?
Of course.
Back to, because bathrooms are apparently a popular subject here. I will also note one thing that I hear people complain about a lot. And this isn't in Italian homes, but it's in Italian businesses or restaurants, is a lack of toilet seats.
Yes.
Toilet seat cover. Actually, I was just in Venice visiting a good friend for the weekend, and I think like 3 out of 4 places that I went to didn't have, there was no toilet seat.
Yes.
So, which is awkward, for a woman especially, but imagine.
Yes,
horrible if you have kids, by the way. Horrible.
Of course. But because Italian people, they are mostly disgusted by public bathrooms. And so I think they act really weird because
they're so clean at home. Tell me this parallel about why public bathrooms are disgusting.
I don't know. I'm questioning myself the same.
Okay.
So why are they so bad in public bathrooms where they're so clean in the bathroom? I don't know. I don't have an answer. I'm sorry.
I think there's just no checklist of. I really think it's because, like in America, we have such a penalized. We're so passive aggressive, right? So we're like, is everything fine with the bathrooms? Vote yes, smiley face. So there's like punishments and consequences, right?
Okay.
So for example, if you're in a business, you have like every hour an employee has to go in the bathroom, clean the bathroom, sign their own signature.
Sure.
So there's like
there should be
checks and balances,
yes.
About like the bathroom. So I've never seen that really in Italy besides IKEA, some big businesses.
Big businesses. Autostrade, when you go on the autostrade, you see it.
Yes, autostrada.
And the supermarkets.
Yeah.
These are only the 3 businesses where I saw the checklist.
Which is great because you need bathrooms, you need clean bathrooms.
Yes.
But I also read something about the toilet seats that I thought was really interesting too, and I think it could make sense because I had a recent issue as well where we wanted to replace a toilet seat in our home, And they said that one of the reasons why a lot of people don't have them is that there's just a million toilet seat designs.
It's true.
So it's hard to find the exact one.
And it's terrible because, for example, now I replaced the seat, the seat on the old toilet, and it's not the one because the toilet is too old. So I have just, Mario just made some measurements, and we took the most similar. But when you sit, you are squeezing.
Yeah. So basically, you're doing a little bit of
jiggling.
Surfing.
You have it's toilet surfing. I hate that.
Yeah,
I really hate that.
But it's not
you have to
everybody's
use
fault. It's just sometimes you can't find the toilet seat, and that's
sometimes they stop making them.
Yeah.
Because the toilet that I have, it's particularly small because the bathroom was outside. It was small, so too many things. And
imagine having to replace the whole thing.
No, it was too much money. I asked, and it was like, forget.
You were like Bob Bennett.
It's easy, I will jiggle, tranquillo.
And every time I walk into that bathroom, and I'm like, for me, I don't care. But when you have a kid, it's so hard because
and you have to.
Right,
you're a juggler.
Let's talk about the tinello.
Oh, what's wrong with the tinello?
Tinello
Tinello is just a not fancy dining room that was to be, not the official dining room, but is
that the not official one.
No, it's not the official, because the tinello is the room that is in between the dining room, sitting room, and the kitchenette.
Yeah.
Okay, it's that in the middle. It's where you have lunch, because in the kitchen you don't have space.
That's true.
And so you have lunch or dinner.
More of a casual.
It's a modest situation.
Okay.
It's not that fancy. If people are coming, you are not eating in the tinello. You are eating in the dining sitting room. Okay, and you have a larger table, beautiful seats, chairs, and everything. In the tinello, it's for the everyday. For example, right now it's we don't have any longer tinello in the main houses, but it's going to be the isola, the island that you have in the kitchen.
Yeah, we have that. Yeah,
can be replaced nowadays. It's replaced.
Yeah, that's what I even
from
have
the
that in my
island
house now too, because
if you think it's where you eat on the daily basis without.
Where I eat on the counter like an American, because I'm sitting there with my
and that's
computer.
why we don't have any longer the tinello, because it's been replaced by the island.
This model, right?
Yes, modern, more American style of living.
Yeah.
I mean, all these houses, they look the same.
Because there's this whole thing of like open spaces, right? Like you have. And I'll be honest.
I mean, I prefer closed.
You like closed. You don't want the smells. Is it because of that? The kitchen smells. No, but I actually can respect that, because yesterday I was making salmon, and I'm pretty sure Nico told me like 3 times to put the aspiration on. I was like, it's fine. Who cares? We're eating salmon. It's gonna smell like salmon.
Yes, but when you, for example, you do vegetables, like broccoli.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. Cauliflower. Mamma mia!
Really good aspiration.
Or you buy something. Or you grill something. Come on.
Let me tell you, some of my friends' houses, I don't think any cooking is happening over there. I will also say too, not to always talk about bathroom. It looks like I'm obsessed, but maybe I am. One thing that I really, really love is that I've only ever had here is having a heated towel rack in the bathroom. So the bathroom is like cold, and in fact, I have leaned myself against the towel rack to get warm.
See, it's
but it's so beautiful. You put your wet towel in there, it dries it, bada bing, bada boom. And also, honestly, some clothes. I know you're not technically supposed to do that, but we all do that. No,
I don't.
Oh, you don't?
No, I don't.
Well,
I mean, I'll do on the regular radiator. Yes, of course, I do that. And I also have, I don't know the name, the hangers, the stendino, that it's made on purpose to be hanged at the radiator.
I didn't know that. Yeah,
I will give you.
Okay. So
yes, you have it's small, and it has the hooks, so you can hook it at the radiator, and
this is all genius.
Really smart.
And let's move on to the kitchen now. So kitchen, what is one thing you have to have in your kitchen that a lot of people may or may not have? Well, it's all normal for you.
Vabbè, la mocha.
La mocha!
So, I mean, I have the mocha and the napoletana, that are 2 different things, because I'm married with a Napolitan. So we have the mocha, of course. Mario always does it every morning, a mocha for the 2 of us. So we have a mocha for 4, that's it's just for the 2 of us. And then on Saturday and Sundays, we have the napoletana, that is different because you need more time to do it, because it goes with infusion and it's stronger. So we do only on Saturday and Sundays when we have time, because we need, time to drink it, but we do every day. I also have the regular like an espresso machine, but I use it only when I run out of the mocha during the day, or maybe someone is coming, so I don't have the time. I need it quick, so I have.
That's a normal thing now, because even at our house we have one of those espresso machines, because Nico in the morning at like 6:30 has his little espresso and his one moment in the day before like work and life hits him in the face. So he has that in bed, whereas I'm a V60 girly, which I love my filtered coffee, really good
Yeah, so
coffee.
the Napoletana, it's similar to that. The concept is the same, but it's different. And you can see, right now also in Naples, it's not so common to see it. Yes,
really? I didn't
absolutely.
know that. That's surprising to me.
Yes, also when, for example, the brother Mario came to visit, and he's younger than me, so between Mario and him there were almost 10 years. He never had a cafe from the Napoletana, so we did
so it's
for
kind of
him.
almost like a dying art at this point, which is kind of
definitely.
sad, because I actually like the
Because also you need
Napolitan
a different coffee, so the coffee dust should be different, should be thicker. And now we also bought the machine to make it.
I have that as well.
And you know what?
amazing.
Our guilty pleasure. Every time that we go there, we buy a lot of coffee from our favorite cafeteria there. So then when we are here, we do it.
No, that is, honestly, I'm the same way. I go to a place, Cafe Piazza, on Via Gioberti, and
Yes.
I get all my coffee from there, and they're so amazing. They're very passionate about their coffee, and please don't hate me, guys, if you listen to this, because I know you want me to use the coffee in like, one's just for mocha, one is just for this, one is just for that. Totally right. They are right. I am wrong. I just like all of it in my V60, so I'm just like, yes, of course I'm using it for the mocha, or yes, of course I'm using it for the machine.
And then
I'm just putting it all in the V60, guys, because I'm lazy.
Mario, please don't listen to this.
I'm so I know. It's just, I'm the beast that I am. So one thing also in the kitchen, I think that you don't really see in a lot of places is the inside drying rack for the dishes. Like, you open up the cupboard above the sink, and you have the little drying rack.
Of
where
course,
you put
even
all your
IKEA has them.
Even IKEA is like, that's smart, guys.
So why it's not that smart for you?
No, it's
Because
so
so you don't
confusing.
you hide. That's the same culture for families. You hide everything.
That's a good point. But I think that's the big difference, though, is you guys are hiders, and
Yes.
we are more like, why don't we put that out in the open? We're putting it next to the sink.
But
or
because
the
also you have a
dishwasher.
lot of space.
Yeah, that's
In
true.
Italy, you don't have space.
Brava, hai detto bene.
That's why we cannot make huge houses. We cannot make huge streets.
Yeah,
we
so you
don't
have
have
to think about
the
everything
place.
is optimized.
Yes,
for
it's a
it,
process. And it's all about being smarter.
Yeah,
So we are smart.
I love that. See, she doesn't just say negative things about Italian. She's also talking about the pros.
And I think these are all pros, because
Yeah, they
one of the things that we are good in as Italians is to make the best out of the least
Little
that
we
you
have, yeah.
Yes.
We
are the best.
Aspirational, because I feel like in America there's this tiny home movement where people.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I was
But I
really
like it
considering
too.
that.
I think, Nico and I fantasize about. I mean, he more than me, because I'm like, I'm young inside. I'm 25. Ooh. I'm at 41. But he's like thinking about retirement, how we're going to live. And we don't aspire to a big house at all.
No.
We want like a 2-bedroom
Who's going to clean
apartment.
that?
Exactly.
Who's going to clean that?
2-bedroom apartment in somewhere that we can walk to go get a coffee.
Esatto.
And
The hospital is easy to
The hospital is
reach.
easy to reach.
You have the train
Preferably
station.
ground floor. One
Yes,
step
you
up,
have the
because if you break your leg,
small supermarket. You have the
that's
small.
like,
Yes.
the aspiration is not
Yes.
this like huge family
No,
home that you
no,
say
no.
you see in like the American movies.
No, I will pay the hotel for him when he's coming to visit.
And I mean, let's be honest, win-win for everybody
Yes.
in that sense.
Of course.
Another thing that I think is really important to note that you kind of see here, that I mean, maybe Europe, not just in Italy, but the way the windows are, because you can open the windows like this. You can open that. They can open from
Vasista.
the top.
That's vasista. Sorry, I always say it's the vasista. Yes.
So that you can air out the house. So that all has functionality.
Of course.
You wake up in the morning, you're making your bed, you throw open the windows, the whole window's open.
Actually, you don't have to open the window right away, because especially in winter, because you are
winter.
cooling down the temperature, and then you need more heat.
Exactly. It all
so
comes back to mine
that's
too.
not. That's why the vasista is helpful
from
because
the top.
yes, you open from the top just a little bit. The air just commute from the outside, so it's going to
You
refresh.
always have this flow of, and how
Yes.
important it is to air your house out.
Absolutely, because otherwise the mound is going to be right away there waiting for you. Like, I'm there, I'm coming.
I know.
You know, they are old houses, most of them.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
for
yeah.
example, in my house, my architect, she wanted to close two opens, the open aperture that I had, that my grandfather had built in order to the house to breathe.
Yeah.
And she wanted to close, and I said, no way, because when I'm changing the windows, then it's like you are closing a box.
Yeah.
And then you have no air commuting from the
Exactly.
outside.
You need
So
you also have to think about the flow
yes.
of the air.
So
in the
I
house.
left, and I have two, and now I have snails coming in. Oh my gosh. Yes, because I have the garden from my neighbor, and I have snails coming through.
Honestly, once you have even a glimpse of a garden or the countryside, you have I have all the animals.
Yes.
All of the things.
I know.
And I will say, like, growing up, my house is in Texas. You almost could not open the windows, Valentina.
Because of the mosquitoes.
Well, first of all, they were shit. I mean, I grew up lower middle class, so anyway, the house is not going to be super great. But it was like, it was physically hard to open. There was not this concept of opening the windows to air them out. We have centralized air conditioning in vents in the house. So it was like this recycled air or heating. And so that's not
healthy.
No, it's not. I know it now, but like I grew up thinking that was the normal way, and that then coming to Italy, being like, I gotta use the remote for the air conditioning and stuff like that. Like, that's weird. Like, it's all centralized.
Yeah.
where
No,
I'm
and
from.
then we have the famous thing that is the riscontro that you don't have. So in most of Italian houses, if you open two windows on the opposite side, or the door and the window, you will have the air, the wind coming through. That's called the riscontro.
That is riscontro. Oh, that's
Okay, it's when
fancy.
it's when for example, the windows just mesh.
Oh, exactly.
That's or the door. That's a
riscontro.
That's a riscontro, and you
What
make
about
it.
What about the rollable
The shutters.
that you see a lot?
So we have also a very special name in Italian.
Yeah, we talked about this before, because
Yes.
there's an Italian name, and then there is the
So-
tapparelle.
Tapparelle is Italian.
Yeah.
In Tuscany, we call the one that is roll up
quello-
rosolante, because it rolls.
Yeah,
That
infatti, ma io
makes sense.
pensavo che rotolanti was the word, because I live in Tuscany.
Yes,
but
of course. Now, by
apparently
that,
it's not.
Italy-wise, it's tapparelle that I don't like, or shutter. Then we have the other. I have, for example, in my parents' house, because it's more modern, they have the rotolante.
So the rotolanti is more modern than the shutter.
Yes, definitely.
I like the shutters better.
It was built, I think, in the 60s.
Okay.
50s.
Oh yeah, you're right. Of course, because
Yes, after World War II, shutters were before because of the wood. And I have this very smart shutter that I just renovated with an artisan. Cost me a lot of money, but I love them because you have, the green shutters.
Yeah.
And you have another apertura, so another little window. So you can have 3 different layers of aperture.
We like to make the layers happen here.
Yes,
Yeah, we
because
like, the
according
shutters
to the daylight, according to the weather, according to the
and
season.
the mosquito screen.
Yes.
Don't forget that.
In all the houses, we don't have.
You don't have the mosquito screen. We have
No,
a
I'm
mosquito
waiting
screen.
for the windows
What's the mosquito
thing.
screen called again?
Zanzariere.
That for me.
But
was
they
really
are,
fun.
yes, I need to, because I need
They
to
break though
renovate.
easily. That's the
But
thing about it. They're a little bit of a delicate soul,
Sure.
the zanzariere, and
Sure.
I think people who probably rent them on Airbnb, they like break them all the time. And from friends that
Sure.
I know rented, that's like an issue. But they're so good.
no, they are much needed right now. They're much. The
Like, it's like a
mosquitoes
little
are.
screen that you just
Sure.
like pull down
Sure.
and it connects.
Yes, I had in my old house. We are waiting to renovate the windows, and so we will put, of course, the mosquito screen. Zanzariere it's a must. But we didn't put the AC.
You didn't put the
No, we
Oh.
we prepared the everything. So the plumber
Oh,
said
yeah,
it's
that's good,
it's
though.
better
That's what
that
we're gonna do.
we prepare everything. But we didn't put AC because I think that my house could be really
You want to kind of live in it first and see how it goes.
yes,
That's
could
fair.
be cool.
Yeah. I mean, not every the houses. Many of the houses are built to be cool
With-
in the
Esatto.
summer. You
Esatto.
close the shutters. There's like a whole thing. Like you wake up early, you open it all, get that
Esatto.
cold air in. As soon as don't know, 8, 9
Yeah,
a.m. Close
9
it all
is
back
already
again.
too late. Yes.
Yeah, no, it's true, and I've learned that too. I remember being like, "Why are you guys in the dark in the summer?" And it was like, "Well, we're thinking about preserving the cool air in the home."
Esatto.
It's like a whole process.
It's a state of mind.
It's a state of mind. I will say that even with we have aircon, but I'm also conscious of the cost and the
It's not a cost. For me, it's also because of the allergy that me and Rado that we have. We are both allergic to dust, and so air conditioning is really one of the worst things. As soon as it starts, my allergy runs.
Are you one of those Italians that are like, it hits my neck? So I'm gonna, oh, Valentina,
I'm as old as that. Yes.
No. How do I not have it? I grew up with it my whole life.
I don't know.
Possible.
Because you grew up with that, so you have the
I'll
anticorpi
take all the air
now.
conditioner you don't take. I'll be honest. That's where I'm like, I need that. So, and maybe we'll mention one last thing, and then we'll close on this.
Vai, sono pronta.
Why are washing machines why are they in the kitchen or in the bathroom?
Why not?
Like it's,
Why not? Why not?
I think we grew up with the whole thing of like, you have a little laundry room and you don't
Why?
stack it.
First,
Exactly.
it's you have to think that
Proximity.
no, it's not because of that. It's because the houses were old, and the washing machine came late.
Yeah, that's
In
true.
the
So it wasn't like the houses were
70s,
built with the
yes,
washing
and so
machine, like-
there was not a laundry room.
Yeah.
There was not the space, and so you had to make space for
Yeah,
that. So the
exactly.
bathrooms were outside, so you cannot put the washing
Yeah,
machine
that's true.
outside. So the most
kitchen.
yes, comfortable place was the kitchen. So it's
And plumbing is already there.
the
so
cost
there
of
we go.
plumbing, it's always been very
I never
high.
think about that. Like,
And that's
yeah.
why, because we grew up with that, because they came after.
Yeah, our washing machine's in the bathroom. Like we have a
Yes.
yeah.
And so nowadays you have to be the laundry room, otherwise you are not, you don't have a proper house. But
Yeah.
my kitchen was prepared to have the washing machine in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Then we make it work to put under the stairs with really,
Oh, that's awesome, actually. It's a
yes.
great
So
spot.
now I have a new
I
drawer.
really love the washing machine in the kitchen, right?
Yes.
It's like the clothes and the food. I don't know.
Oh, I always had in my previous apartment. I had the washing machine and the oven, one next to each other.
One's heating up the other.
Exactly. So I don't see the problem.
I think on that note, we should wind this down and go into Cose a Caso.
Prontissima.
See.
Cose a caso, random things that we like to talk about. Cose a caso, weird things that we would like to talk about. And today we are talking about Italian houses. So Georgette, what would you keep from Italian weird houses in your home if you're moving out of Italy?
My 100%, because you've already heard me rant about shoes, the scarpiera.
Of course, it's so useful.
Basically a closed shoe rack that you put near
At
the
the
door.
entrance, yes.
At the entrance. So it's
Of
near the
course.
entrance. And actually in our house we have 3. We have one at the entrance, we have one in a hallway, we have one in the office / guest bedroom.
Yes.
So because we have shoes, it's like a lot of shoes. And I think before growing up, I always put those shoes in the closet. They were everywhere. And I never think about it. It was never a thing. And you're gonna
Maybe-
think we're disgusting, but
maybe
like in
it's-
America, at least where I'm from, people wear their shoes in the house. But like everywhere.
I mean, also in Italy, it's
think so?
yes, there are a lot.
I actually forgot what's normal because Switzerland was so strict with
No.
taking your shoes off.
In Italy, you
have
are
house shoes now.
you are still weird if you ask people to take off their shoes.
No, but you know what? That I agree with. I honestly, if people come over to my house for dinner or Sunday lunch or even like Annabelle's birthday, I don't expect them to take off their shoes. I just know that I'm going to clean up the house after. Like I'm going
Okay.
to mop it everywhere because we walk around barefoot sometimes with the underfloor heating, But like I've totally reverted to the Swiss way.
Yes,
apparently,
me too.
Of
Me
just
too.
taking
I love.
off my shoes at the entrance, putting it in the
Yes.
scarpiera, and then putting in my very ugly plastic black pair of Birkenstock sandals that I got from the hospital post-birth. Or if it's fancy, like people are coming over and I don't want to wear these horrendous shoes in front of them, I have like those Venetian Furlan.
That's classy.
Signora.
No, talking about the eating before.
Yeah.
During winter, I have a pair of North Face.
I love, you ever
because my feet, they get so cold, and so I got these super technical shoes to stay home.
I love that though, but you know what? Those shoes, as you get older, you realize how important it is
Ma stai
to take
scherzando?
care of your feet.
Of course.
And like, if you've been walking around all day, you need something that's going to give those soles.
Yeah, and you don't have to slip,
support.
because otherwise you're going to kill yourself. So there are a lot of things that you
It's a
need
slipper
to
world
do.
in Italy too. People do love their slippers in this country.
Yes,
Slippers
it's
and
an
robes.
issue. It's an issue. Yes,
Yeah.
I have that. All the family. I mean, Eduardo and Mario, they also have their.
Everybody had their robes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute.
Because for the pajama
still don't do
day,
that.
it's cold when we are just in
You don't
pajamas.
just wear like old sweater from 200 years ago.
No,
See, me.
that's
where
something
I'm
that
selling
we
it.
don't do. That's
Yeah,
something
so-
that we don't do, and I don't like it, and I always just get rid of all the things that I can use for this scope.
I get it.
Actually, I have a box where I have all the stuff, but they are used only for painting or doing dirty things.
So you have very specific uses for everything. I actually respect that. I just, I'm that. Let me put on my house clothes when I come home, like stretchy pants and maybe like a sweater, but like I don't have like a robe in that sense. But what about you? What is your one item that you swear by, you will defend to its core?
Okay, let's think about it. I have many different things.
Could be something we already mentioned too.
Okay, but probably something that I think I would like, it's, this dust cover that you use to cover everything. That's something I really use.
I was wondering.
Of course, because I have a child, I have a dog, and I have a cat. And so when they jump on the sofa, I need to protect the sofa.
I love that.
And so now I have actually two different things.
We need to send me some pictures and we can flash them on the YouTube.
These are super easygoing because I didn't want to go too fancy. So I have just an elastic one to cover
You don't do
it.
plastic, clear plastic?
No, that's something I hate. But I remember I grew up with that. Oh my God.
Couch cover,
Mamma
guys. It's like a
mia,
thing
yes.
where you sit down and it's like the opposite of comfortable.
Mamma mia. And you have, this crunchy
It's a triggering sound.
Mamma
A
mia.
triggering sound.
Yes, and something that we didn't talk about, sorry, but it's the kitchenette that generally in the south they have on balconies or in the cantinette. Well, we'll talk another time. So, and because it's useful, because otherwise the couch is going to be ruined right away.
But I like that people are like accepting that they want to preserve, because I lived in an Italian house like this when I moved back to Italy, where it was grandma's furniture plus any furniture that was given. So basically the house was just a house of overcrowded items that made kind of no sense. But it was like it was actually kind of a big house, but it was just crammed full of stuff. And you just want to kind of be like, but do we need that third couch? Like, should we throw it away or like donate it? No. And you had to and nobody knew what the original couch, it was like almost like this mystery. Like, can we pull up the cover and see what the original design?
You can stain it with maybe your glass or maybe just sitting there and eating.
I completely agree with you. Even if I say, I don't do that. I have the couch out in the open, so I'm living on the wild side.
And then you have to clean it.
It's blue, and we have a shampoo thing for the couch.
No, it's too much effort.
I know. I'm living with a control freak. That's his like passion.
That's why you need to have a dust cover.
You just need an ego. You need Nico and me just going, good job.
That was it.
That we will wind out the episode. Please remember to like, comment, leave a 5-star review. Tell us
what
just
you
a
like
couple
to.
of lines
Yes.
of like, you girls are funny. We know the microphone might be covering our face and you want to see our beautiful face, but hopefully you can. We didn't even think we were going to do video in the beginning.
Mamma mia.
But thank you guys. I can't wait to talk again.
A presto.
A presto. Ciao.
So that's it for this episode of Two Voices No Filter, talking truth from Italy with me, Georgette.
E Valentina Dainelli.
You can find us on Instagram. Follow the show wherever you get your podcasts. Please leave us a review because it genuinely helps more people find us. And we'll be back soon with more of the conversation that not many other people are having.
Grazie mille, a presto.
A presto.